Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Kalika and you're gonna be a craftier person after watching this video. It's blinking. Shut it off. When I was in the military, I used to work with the server room for the whole island of Hawaii. This was an intranet system, so it was contained as it had valuable information on it as anything with the military. The system also supplied service for several offsite areas as well, which I'm not going to list out for security reasons. There were several backups for this system, so I can say that no one but our unit was affected by this incident, because if there is one thing the military is good at, it's redundancy. Now, we had just gotten a new staff sergeant to the unit and he came from a wiring background, so very little to no experience with actual servers. To show off how big his balls were or something, he came into the area where my co-worker and I were going through some rather regular tests, looking over the system as we had just had a switchover for the night shift of the 24-hour shift. You could smell the cheap fast food curry in the background from the Asian restaurant that was nearby, affectionately named Cat Dog. This was for its sign in the front with a weird cartoonish bowl of noodles with a cat and a dog staring lovingly, not because of the menu. He smelled the cheap food, told us to keep it away from the computers, which they only had a chance to mess up the keyboards and monitors since the towers were somewhere else, but we complied. He then started to state various ways we should improve things, then a blinking light caught his eye. Now, anyone with any knowledge of any technology should know this simple fact. Some lights stay solid, but some lights blink to give you information that the piece of equipment is working. That light is blinking. Turn it off and bring it back up, he bellowed. Sir, I don't care what it is. That light should be solid. Actually, I'm giving you a direct order. Turn that off. Both me and the co-worker look at each other, and knowing that he's a little jerk, we smile at each other and do as he asks. Now, if you've ever seen a movie where two switches need to be flipped simultaneously, then you know that anything that requires two people usually shouldn't be turned off, ever. So we both flipped off our sides of the machine, which was basically an emergency shutdown of the whole server room. When every single one of the servers shut down, there was silence between all of us. The funny thing was, he just turned around and walked off like nothing happened, not saying a word. After which he didn't talk to us for the next few weeks. Bringing back up the system took 4 hours, and woke up 2 officers that had to work on some parts of it as a few offsite backup areas handled our load for that time. Made friends with a butter bar that day, but those stories stay between us. I wonder how badly the staff sergeant got told off for that. Wow. Come in with a hurt ankle or quit? I choose both. Now that I don't work there anymore, I'm not bound by any rules on what I can or can't say. I worked at a casino. It's considered the bastard love child of the chain I worked at. A week ago, I damaged my ankle pretty badly. I twisted it playing with my son, and now I can't walk on it right. An x-ray showed I didn't break it, but I have a CT and MRI scheduled soon. The first time I damaged it, it didn't show up on an x-ray. That time I ended up needing surgery to fix it. I go in and try to work on my hurt ankle anyway. I wrapped it in a splint and had it iced down hardcore. 2 hours into my shift, I couldn't take it anymore, and my husband took me to the ER. I had been cleared from my big boss, but Miss A-hole manager was on duty that day. She absolutely blew up my phone asking when I was coming back in. Call after call. It got annoying, so I turned off my phone and tried to relax as best I could with people twisting my damn ankle. I get told by my doctor that because of my past injury, a torn ligament and slipped metatarsals, and how they didn't see that before, I was to stay off my feet until I get the other scans. He got me a note and bailed for the night. I've seen him a few times, he's a good doctor, so him leaving so suddenly didn't bother me. The next day, I arrive at work on crutches with my ankle wrapped hard to turn in my note. I had already sent my direct manager a picture of my note, and he already started working on figuring out how much paid time off I have until we have to sit down with HR and see what we can do. I have almost 3 weeks worth, so I'm pretty confident it'll hold me over until I get a note that says I either have surgery or I just need to rest it. There's only one problem. I hurt this ankle a week before the 4th of July, and my a-hole manager is pissed. Her nephew will have to work my shifts, as day shifts are overscheduled anyway, and they need someone to cover my night shifts. So when I go to turn in my note, she literally rips it, on accident, when I ask for my copy, jams the fax machine twice and keeps throwing comments on how her nephew won't be able to spend time with his daughter on the 4th. He already told me the daughter's mum had her for the 4th. Then comes the comment from any job place I've ever worked at. If you don't work the full holiday shift, we will assume you quit. This is gonna suck so badly for me, but I'm already getting goosebumps from my plan. I talked to my husband the night after. We already hashed out how the bills would work if I were stuck after surgery without money. I even called my old boss and told her what happened. I start back there after I get cleared from my surgery if I end up having to have it. Our savings are going to take a hit, but even my husband said, F him. I come in on the 4th of July. The a-hole manager's nephew's confused, but takes off the second he sees me anyway. I know I just have to wait an hour or so before he's completely smashed. I contact my other custodial workers and tell the ones I've grown close to what's about to happen. They wish me the best and set their phasers to ignore. A-hole manager is just watching me, smug as hell, as I hobble through the floor on crutches. It's absolutely packed with people, so I get jumbled around a few times, mostly on accident. I don't do anything. I'm just mainly walking circles and taking a rest on anything I can lean on. My leg is in pain, and I'm tired, but I keep it up for about 2 hours. One of the sweetest managers alive helps as best as she can and asks me if I need to sit down. She's sweeping the floor for me, pulling out chairs so I can get closer to the machine. She helped me with the bathrooms and showed me out when she mopped so I wouldn't fall. I'm gonna miss her the most. A-hole manager keeps bragging about how she's about to leave after only working 4 hours on the 4th. It's been 2 hours into my shift and I'm done. She's the manager that would have to stay if none of the custodians are there. For some reason, she has no power over us, but would have to stay and clean if no one else was there. Don't ask me why, they run things pretty flippin' weird. It's already a mess, and the sweet manager who oversees different departments has been doing the a-hole manager's job by helping me on top of helping her cafe crew and rewards when they get swamped. Thankfully, she gets to leave in an hour and the a-hole manager has no power over the sweet manager. A-hole manager has her purse and is ready to go, and I spring into action. A small crowd of other managers and security are talking among themselves as shift change is starting. I work a weird shift, called swing shift, that lasts about 10 or 12 hours depending on the day, and I see shift change twice. Hey, manager, I wasn't even supposed to be here today and I'm in a lot of pain. I'm not going to finish working the holiday, so I quit. You can't quit. We don't have anyone to cover you. You're by yourself tonight. I know. I'm turning in my badge. I slip it from around my neck. Security is trying hard not to laugh and comes over to me because at this time, I have to be escorted off the property since I don't work there anymore. At least clean the floor before you leave. She's already turned her badge into you. She can't be on property. You know this already, a-hole manager. Who's gonna stay and clean her mess? Sweet manager? I worked a full 16 today. Besides, housekeeping isn't my department, it's yours. A-hole manager is realizing she effed up. She pulls out her phone to try and call other managers. She could technically call my direct manager to take over since he's the big boss over my department as a whole, but he's on vacation with his daughter. I'm friends with her on Snapchat because we shared a college class together and bonded. To be honest, I think that's why I got the job. OP, think this through. We can try and get you a chair in your closet and you'll be able to sit down as long as you want. The cage manager steps in. A-hole manager, she has already turned in her badge. She doesn't work here anymore. I get a few different managers patting me on the back and wishing me well. Gonna miss you, OP. Now get off property before I have to beat you with a stick. Last I heard, she had to stay the whole 4th because my other co-workers wouldn't answer their phones. Not even her nephew. Sorry, not sorry, but I wanted to go out with a bang. My old direct manager gets back from vacation in a few days, so I may update if something happens on their front. I'm not sure how it works in the United States, but over here, if you have a doctor's note signing you off work and your employer forces you into a shift, that's like an instant legal case. Especially in OP's case where the manager threatened her job if she didn't work with an injury. It's ridiculous. Stuck on top of the Eiffel Tower? Go ahead, take the stairs. A decade or so ago we were in Paris in January. As one does, we decided to go to the Eiffel Tower. It was super cold and we got there late, so it was getting dark and colder by the minute. While at the second level with the wind getting stronger and the rain starting, it became apparent that the main elevators got stuck or broken. I talked to one of the employees in my broken French and he told me as much. He was very polite and apologetic about the situation, but I wasn't particularly worried. The tower is old and these things happen. Who was not polite or understanding was the teacher of the American high school group that was stuck up there with us. After yelling at the above mentioned employee and then yelling some more, the employee executed a bit of malicious compliance. He informed the teacher that they can walk down the stairs in the cold and the rain and the wind and the dark. Probably a very uncomfortable and precarious walk. A few moments later, after the teacher and his group took the stairs, the polite employee asked us if we wanted to take the staff-only elevator down. See, here is a prime example that being a nice person pays off. I've been to Paris twice and up the Eiffel Tower twice, and each time I always took the stairs down because it's kind of nice and relaxing. I've never done it in the dark when it's raining though, that sounds a bit grim. Okay, so that's all for r/MaliciousCompliance. I really hope you did enjoy it. As always, if you do want to see more content like this, then please do subscribe. My Twitter, Discord, and Patreon links are in the description, and any support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!